with Lauren Stallone.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with a human rights investigation within the City of London's Housing Stability Services. A former employee who experienced harassment says her severance and benefits were cut for speaking out on CTV News. And as Daryl Newcomb reports, the director she complained about was reinstated only days later.
Former City of London employee Kate Green says telling her story of harassment while working in the Housing Stability Services Department triggered a quick response from civic administration. Notification that her severance payments would be slashed to her minimum entitlement under the Employment Standards Act.
After the CTV interview aired, the next day the city reached out to my lawyer and said that I had breached their respectful workplace policy and code of ethics.
Last week, Green spoke out about a human rights investigation that determined she had experienced workplace harassment from the Director of Housing Stability Services, Craig Cooper. A summary provided to her on June 25th concluded she experienced disrespectful, harassing, and discriminatory conduct, and that a pattern of micromanagement negatively impacted your team's efficiency and morale. 3 other allegations were not substantiated. A couple of months later in September, she was fired without cause from her job as a manager overseeing contracts that direct government funding to frontline homelessness agencies. She refused the city's offer of $5,000 in general damages because it required signing a non-disparagement agreement, but eventually was provided a period of salary continuance in lieu of notice regarding her termination. Green's lawyer, Susan Toth, writes in a statement, quote, "They are now trying to punish Kate for blowing the whistle by threatening her and cutting off her salary continuance and benefits." Meanwhile, we're also learning a bit more about what's taken place inside the Housing Stability Services Department via an email that was sent to city staff earlier this week and independently obtained by CTV News. Addressing the HSS team on Monday, Deputy City Manager Kevin Dickens wrote, quote, "I wanted to let you know that Craig Cooper will be returning to his role of Director Housing Stability Services this week, as he officially steps back into the role with so many important projects and system transitions on the go." The summary of the human rights investigation sent to Green back in June states, quote, "Interim measures assigning the respondent to a role outside HSS will remain in place until workplace restoration efforts are complete." Civic Administration again declined to be interviewed, instead sending a statement from City Manager Sandra Daters-Beer that explains these types of matters are taken very seriously and leadership follows council-approved policies. Also, quote, "When investigations result in findings, staff are advised and corrective or restorative measures are implemented. Confidentiality of personal information is maintained for all employees, including complainants and respondents in internal investigations, and is required under privacy laws that apply to the city." However, Toth's statement blasts the city's use of confidentiality regarding her client's story. Quote, "The city is weaponizing confidentiality. The purpose of confidentiality is to be a shield and not a sword for retribution." As for Green, the city's decision to slash her severance wasn't the only response she's received, proving to her that this is an important matter of public interest.
I was honestly blown away. I've heard from so many women and men sharing their support, their own personal stories, not just with the city, but with other employers.
The full statement from the city manager can be found on our website. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
For the first time in more than 50 years, London and Middlesex Community Housing has opened a new building. Local officials are calling it a significant step forward in replenishing the city's affordable housing options. Jerry Dewan has more.
I went from pain and despair to gratitude and happiness.
Kathleen Savoy says her life was turned around when she found shelter in this London Middlesex Community Housing Complex.
I was this close to being out on the street, and I don't think I would have made it 24 hours.
She believes the new reimagined Southdale development will have the same impact on many others.
We have to unite together and work together to make sure that everybody's housed and everybody has the same opportunities.
Work on phase 1 of the reimagined Southdale development got underway in March of 2024. Now the 6-story apartment complex is ready for tenants.
2, 3. Yeah!
Phase 1 has 53 units and a number of community spaces. It replaced 18 townhomes that were torn down. Housing Corporation leadership call it a milestone project.
It really just demonstrates that we're moving forward, that we're really focused on making sure we have good, safe, quality housing that meets the needs of the community.
We want people to live here. We want them to be safe. We want them to raise their families here. And we want them to aspire to have their own housing that they own.
LMCH is in the midst of its master regeneration plan for the region's stock of public housing. Their stated goal is to increase the overall number of rent-geared-to-income units and improve overall quality of the buildings. London Mayor Josh Morgan says underfunding of community housing infrastructure taught governments at all levels a difficult lesson.
This is the downloading of social housing to municipalities decades ago without the proper resources to actually maintain them. And that led to years of neglect that you see in almost every community who has taken on that asset. But through the last couple of years, this council, in partnership with other levels of government, has made renewed investments in our community housing stock.
Chisholm says Phase 2 of the Reimagine Southdale project is already underway, and Phase 3 is awaiting funding.
Our focus this time was family, accessible, affordable housing, but we know there's a need for seniors, a need for others, so we'll look at that need and build what the community needs.
Phase 1 came in at a cost of $29 million. Jerry DeWan, CTV News.
Meanwhile, ground broke today on a high-rise apartment complex in West London. It's considered a first-of-its-kind project incorporating the city's transit hubs. Sean Irvin reports.
The city, the province, and a major southwestern Ontario developer turned shovels Friday on a new 225-unit apartment building constructed with less red tape. The Serena West Village Tower will eventually be joined by 2 more buildings housing 700 units. A reported 10% will be offered at affordable rates. The project is located near Oxford in Wonderland. It is an intersection the city views as a high-density transit hub.
We're actually moving forward with multiple transit projects and transit acceptance in this area, which is going to support the density that's being proposed, not just here, but along Oxford Street and in other components along Wonderland Road.
Footings for the first tower on this site will be in place by the end of the year to ensure Westdale Development qualifies for the Mayor's Fast Track Housing Initiative.
We're going to reward and we're going to fast track those who can actually build the housing sooner.
Westdale, the largest private commercial developer in the region, has big plans for London's major transit hubs, including on Wellington, where their key asset, White Oaks Mall, sits.
We have 500 units proposed on that site in 2 floors. That's scheduled to start construction in early 2027.
London's success is being touted by the province's housing minister, Elgin Middlesex London MPP Rob Flack. This week, Flack acknowledged housing starts in Ontario will fall over 7,000 short of original 2025 projections. But the minister contends London is bucking that trend as it takes full advantage of the Ford government's Build Faster fund.
So London had a great year last year. I think, as Mayor Morgan said today, we're going to see even better starts hopefully next year. So it's tough, but we're creating those conditions and we're starting to see action.
We're well on our track to meet our commitment to supplying the housing that's needed in this province and this country.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
A second petition has been filed in the Perth County opposing a proposed subdivision. Members of a local citizens group are pushing councillors to acknowledge the county's official plan, which states Sebringville is a village where growth should be limited to low-density residential development. The petition claims a proposed 265-unit subdivision would nearly double the size of the village while adding traffic and causing water issues for current residents. The provincial government has announced funding to help veterans turn their skills into college and university credits. Brian Bicknell has more on the fast track from service to civilian employment.
They stood on guard for Canada, but some in the Canadian forces are not sure where they stand when their time in the military is over.
We are very group-oriented in the military. We have a lot of close friends, a lot of close family. And when you leave that, you leave part of your family behind. So transitioning out and finding your next journey can be extremely difficult.
Andrew Mellison is an active member of the Royal Canadian Navy who also serves as Fanshawe College's military-connected career consultant. He was on hand as Ontario's Minister of Citizenship and Minister of Colleges announced $575,000 in funding to recognize skills veterans learned during service as college and university credits.
This initiative will expedite their studies, ensuring military-connected learners can join the workforce faster, supporting a smooth transition to civilian life and building a strong talent pool for Ontario.
We rightly recognize them for their service while they're in service, but we need to do a better job, all of us, on that, but also on recognizing their service for what they do here in Ontario when they come home.
With the funding, prior learning and assessment recognition projects have been launched at 6 colleges and universities across Ontario, including Fanshawe. Fanshawe will create a database of course equivalencies that recognize the prior training. It's no accident that the announcement was made here at Fanshawe, with this school having become the first ever military-connected college back in 2020, and that has resulted in a nearly 100% increase in military students. In fact, more than 400 study here now.
Fanshawe College is developing a reputation as a college that supports military-connected learners, their families as well, Brian. And so it provides a level of confidence that coming to Fanshawe is a wonderful career opportunity.
Every year, between 8,000 and 9,000 Canadian Armed Forces members are released from military service.
They know what to do, you give them the task and they accomplish it.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
The two ministers at today's announcement were also asked about the federal government's plan to further cut the number of international students studying in Canada next year to just 155,000. Several post-secondary institutions have cut programs because of the international student cap.
So, it was another decision by the federal government, another unilateral decision without consulting with the post-secondary or the provinces that serve our post-secondary education system.
I think what we would like from the federal government is stability on the file. I think it's been unhelpful to have the changing goalposts. But our priority, is to work with them, to, however they put it forward, to protect our economy, defend it.
Lambton OPP say one person was killed in a crash south of Sarnia yesterday. Police say there were 2 cars involved near Highway 40 and Courtright line. According to police, a 51-year-old from London was pronounced dead at the scene. 3 other people have non-life-threatening injuries. A stretch of Highway 59 near Tavistock has reopened after a head-on collision that had police on scene for hours. It was just before noon when OPP say an SUV collided with a commercial van near Maplewood Side Road and Oxford Road 34. One person had minor injuries and was taken to hospital as a precaution. Police say the driver of the SUV has been charged under the Highway Traffic Act and faces criminal charges as well. A London man visiting family in Lebanon has found himself in the middle of renewed violence. He's a former local political candidate who's sharing video of an airstrike not far from where he is staying. Rita Ismail reports.
Former London Fanshawe Liberal candidate Mohammed Hammoud says what he witnessed felt unimaginable.
Imagine if the States today, instead of putting tariffs on us, came with airplanes and started bombing us and sending us evacuation notices to London, Ontario, saying Byron is going to be bombed and we give you 40 minutes, evacuate. That's exactly what happened yesterday.
Hammoud says he postponed visiting family for over a year, but now that he's there, he's decided to extend his current stay while writing a new book about his homeland's resilience.
The book is called We Who Refuse to Die, Between Ashes and the Olive Tree. And this book is chronicling what happened from September 2024 to present day. It really talks about what's going on here, how people refuse to give up their land and their homes and their livelihoods.
He describes Lebanon as beautiful but unsafe and says witnessing the strike's aftermath has been emotional.
I'm very much Canadian. I've lived in Canada for 50 years, but the land that gave birth to us this is my flesh. And when I hear people here today, when I see them clean up after an attack, when I see the support they give each other, this is humanity.
The airstrike Hamoud witnessed comes amid a fragile ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, in place since November of last year, following months of cross-border attacks between Israel and Hezbollah. Though the ceasefire remains officially in effect, it's been violated several times.
I just sat there and I couldn't believe it. I heard the planes. I saw the first rocket. I started filming. And then I saw the second rocket.
Hamoud says he's staying in Lebanon for now, hoping to finish his book and to share what he calls the human side of life amid conflict. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Officials with the Provincial Animal Welfare Service say they are investigating after a puppy was found dead in a ditch near Woodstock. According to Oxford OPP, the animal was found Sunday morning. They say 15 other young dogs still alive were found nearby. Meanwhile, a last-minute deal has been struck with Grey and Bruce County school bus drivers. Nearly 150 school bus drivers in the Kincardine and Owen Sound area were threatening strike action starting Monday if no deal was reached. Local officials say an agreement was secured after 2 days of negotiations, which Owen Sound drivers ratified last night and Kincardine drivers were voting on today. Union leaders said wages and unpaid work were their main concerns. The biggest fundraiser of the year for the Marymount Family Support and Crisis Center is underway. It's happening at the London Hunt Club. Officials say each year the center supports 8,000 children and 2,500 families who are going through crisis or trauma. The event includes live and silent auctions. Organizers say they are aiming for more than $100,000 raised.
The money goes to support our child mental wellness program, which is a program for children from birth to 12 years old who are experiencing or at risk of experiencing a mental health crisis. Our programs are strength-based and trauma-informed and really work to build capacity and skills in children, such as life skills, coping skills, resiliency, all of those wonderful things that we need to live well.
The London Knights faced off against the Kingston Frontenacs tonight for the second time in less than a week.
He wheel in across the line. Here's a catch. Wasland shooting. He scores!
The Knights were tied 1-1 in the third, but Brady Wasland would bury one to take the lead, and that would just about do it. Knights win 2-1 in the end. They will face off against Owen Sound tomorrow night. Coming up, we will take you on a tour through Brickmanton, a booming metropolis made entirely out of Lego. In Toronto, the TSX gained 44 points, and in New York, the Dow added 75, while the Nasdaq is down 49. The Canadian dollar lost 0.75 cents today, and on commodity markets, gold gained almost $19 an ounce, and oil added 32 cents a barrel. An update now on the local employment rates. According to Stats Canada, the London region saw unemployment rise to 6.5% in October, up from 6.2% in September. The provincial rate fell 0.3 percentage point to 7.6. Canadian food inspection agents say they've shot dead all ostriches at a British Columbia farm, fulfilling a cull order over an avian flu outbreak.
You are allowing them to kill the antibodies for H5N1.
Video sent to CTV News shows a tense scene as federal agents moved in last night. A holding pen that was filled with ostriches yesterday appeared still and empty today. No live ostriches could be seen anywhere on the property. The pen where the shootings took place was filled with long blue tarps covering objects on the ground that were shrouded with black sheeting. Local reports indicate it took hours to shoot all the birds after the Supreme Court of Canada ruled it would not hear the farmer's final appeal against the cull.
Good evening. Cold and unsettled over the weekend. Still the chance for drizzle overnight and heading into your Saturday. The rain has moved out of the region, but tracking our next low pressure system that has brought a special weather statement. We'll talk about that coming up after the break. But waking up tomorrow morning, 3 degrees, winds out of the north and cloudy skies. Thanks, Gail, for this photo of Buster. What a cutie. Stay with us. Your local weather is next.
Julie Atchison joins us now with your full weather forecast.
Thanks so much, Lauren. A special weather statement in effect for Sunday. Environment Canada giving a big heads up. The first significant snowfall of the season possible in southern Ontario. Eastern Middlesex County, including London, Huron, Perth, stretching into Oxford County, Waterloo, Wellington, and in and around Toronto, and along that northern shoreline of Lake Ontario. Snowfall is expected, possibility of about 2 to 10 centimeters. And I'm going to explain why it's such a wide berth of amounts. 10 degrees. 2 degrees are high and low temperature for the day. Normal for this time of year, 9 and 1, so right around where we should be. Overnight, cloudy. The main rain has moved off to the east, but the winds are coming in out of the northwest overnight. And we will have some gusts close to about 40 to 50 kilometers per hour, so windy conditions expected. Temperatures staying above the freezing mark across most of southern Ontario, with the exception as we head toward Wyerton near freezing. You can see a little bit of mixed precipitation. As those winds come in from the northwest to the north through the day tomorrow, that will generate off-lake precipitation, but I'm expecting it to be light drizzle overnight and through the day. So here's that rain that moved through earlier. You can see the snowfall on the northern flank of this system. We have some cold air that now resides across the southern prairies. Energy from the southern prairies will be driving southward, merging with a low pressure area developing to the south, and it will move through the Ohio Valley. Watch as it all comes together on the forecast model. So this is Saturday evening. You can see we're just into cloudy conditions. Then overnight Saturday into Sunday, the system takes shape. You can see the snowfall starts to come in as we head into Sunday morning, and winds are right on the edge of that. Likely we'll see some snowflakes, a lot of that of course melting along the northern shoreline of Lake Erie. Mixed precipitation, but north of that the potential for 2 to 10 centimeters. Now any change in the trajectory of the low pressure area will change precipitation amounts. So what that means is if that low pressure area moves further northward, it will draw in some warm air and we'll get into more mixed precipitation. Snowfall amounts then will be much higher north of that low. At this point, the low pressure area looks to stay to the south, so the temperatures will be quite cool across southern Ontario, leading to accumulation. So this all comes into the area as we head into the day on Sunday. It'll exit Sunday night and then draw in another cold air mass as we kick off the week that will activate the lake effect snow as we head into Monday, Tuesday. So your forecast for your Saturday, 6 degrees at noon hour, 7 as we head into the afternoon. A chilly wind out of the north will keep us overcast with the risk of drizzle. Now we're not expecting anything heavy, barely registering on the map. You can see as we head towards Goderich, that's where we're going to see some lake enhanced activity. So it will be just some drizzle on and off through the day. So a rain snow mix in the forecast Sunday, likely snowfall in London. A lot of that melting, but it will be quite slushy at times, and it'll be heavier snowfall due to all of that moisture. Monday, that's our lake effect snow day, a 60% chance of flurries, keeping a very close eye on the forecast early next week because we could see some significant lake effect snow, especially in Midwestern Ontario. Look at how cold it's going to be, 1 to 2 degrees. It'll be a cold Remembrance Day. Raw temperatures, hopefully the winds ease off because then you can dress more appropriately in terms of being outdoors for a long time. 5 degrees on Wednesday with showers, 5 degrees on Thursday. Midwestern Ontario, light drizzle on and off, lake effect tomorrow and overcast skies. A fairly solid deck of cloud will lock in. Heading into Sunday, that's when our low pressure area comes in. I mentioned it staying to the south. Huron and Perth, you're going to get snow. Grey and Bruce, you will get some snow as well. It's just how much snow are you going to get? Lake effect flurries as we head into Monday at the freezing mark +1 with the possibility of some mixed precipitation. Cold air once again will activate Lake Huron, generating off lake snow early next week. So I'll reiterate one more time as we head into the weekend. Sunday will be the day where we could see some measurable snow in southern Ontario. If you have travel plans, please plan accordingly. Always the first snow is a rough run on area roads, so please leave yourself lots of extra time and get ready for some cold air moving into the region next week. Lauren?
Thanks for that, Julie. The London Wine and Food Show is rebranding, now called TasteX, a London food and drink experience.
Our attendees really wanted to be able to try more different, unique products, a lot of products they haven't had the opportunity to try, a lot of products that were going to be exclusive that you couldn't typically find at your LCBO.
Organizers call it a new era, embracing inclusivity, discovery, and flavor. They say they're expanding the food sampling lineup and adding more live music. The 2026 event is scheduled for January 9th and 10th at the Western Fair District.
We're going to have our traditional wine, beer, and spirits that people have known and loved throughout the years, but we're also going to up our non-alcoholic game at the show this year.
Finally tonight, a miniature city is growing in Edmonton. CTV's Matt Woodman visits Brickmanton, a booming metropolis built entirely out of Lego.
This is my Lego room.
The first time we met Lego YouTuber Jordan Forsythe, better known as Brixie, it was 2021. Since then, his Lego city and collection have outgrown his basement.
This is like, man, what are we going to do? We can't continue growing at this pace. We need to either get a bigger space or downsize our collection. And we decided to get a bigger space.
Welcome to the new Brickmanton.
I definitely won't be growing out of this place.
Brickmanton spans 75 square meters, includes millions of pieces and countless minifigs. He and his wife started building Lego 10 years ago with a Star Wars set. Since then, their collection has grown to roughly 1,500 sets.
It snowballed pretty quickly, and as soon as we bought our first modular building, I knew that one day I would be building a Lego city.
He never imagined Brickmanton would take over an entire studio. There's a downtown core, a beach, harbor, and train yard, a campground, zoo, and an amusement park.
Going a little fast.
And as many details inside as there are out.
So all the buildings have an interior, and we can pop the floors apart, take the roofs off.
He finds building therapeutic, although it can become repetitive, layering brick after brick. But there's always something different to work on, which keeps it fresh.
It is so much fun just building Lego every day and making videos about it.
Like much of the world, even Brickmanton isn't immune to American tariffs. Lego, a Danish company, is no longer shipping certain pieces to North America. Brixie says for the most part, the pieces he needs are still available.
They still have what they call the best sellers available to Canadians, and that's mainly what we use within our city. But for sure, they definitely took a lot of the pieces away off their website.
So Brixie keeps building, and Brickmanton keeps growing. Matt Woodman, CTV News, Edmonton.
That's our time tonight. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time. I'm Lauren Stallone. Have a good night.